Welcome to Mo Health Media. My name is Guy Danhoff, and we want to welcome you to our normal weekly programming. And today we are going to unpack social well-being. However, it is not going to be through the lens that we've ever covered this before, because we're going to be joined today live with Cecilia Belser-Patton. And she is the Director of Leadership Development for DESE. And here's what she says, and I can't wait to hear this. She says, no emotions are bad during the pandemic. And with that, welcome, Cecilia.
Thank you so much, Guy. I really appreciate you. And I am looking forward to being here with you and everyone else today.
So with that being said, give us a little background. What do you mean no emotions are bad?
No emotions are bad. It is our response to the emotion, right? And I think that we have to work towards helping our educators, helping our students and their families, and everyone else that is a stakeholder in Missouri schools to understand that the emotions that we have around COVID-19, the coronavirus, are all normal. We're in a new normal. We're in an abnormal space that is very different and quite different than what we have experienced in the past. And so no emotion is bad. Emotions just are. And so we want to normalize the ways in which people are experiencing what it means to be teachers, educators, counselors, social workers, administrators in the time of COVID-19, the coronavirus. We're going to have all types of feelings about that. At some points, we're going to be overwhelmed. At some points, we're going to be sad. At some points, we're going to be disconnected, defeated. Other points, we're going to be happy and connected with our students and find opportunity and innovation. And all of those things are okay in this new normal we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. With that, we know specifically you're now involved in what's called the REACH program with DESE. And we know that's in basically collaboration with the Alive and Well with DESE as well. So maybe if you could give us a little history and kind of how that initiative has taken off and certainly how it's doing today.
Absolutely, Guy. The Reach for Mo program is a grant that was specifically done for Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and it is in partnership with Alive and Well Communities. And so Alive and Well Communities is based in trauma-informed care, and this is how we are responding to the coronavirus and COVID-19 with things that we can do for our students, our educators, our families, ourselves, anyone that goes to the website, reachformo.org. And so it is a partnership again with DESE and Alive and Well, and it centers social emotional learning and wellness. We do that through trauma-informed practices, restorative practices, and social emotional learning.
So with that, I was wondering maybe if you could share with us, what are some of the challenges, or I like to say it this way, what problem is the REACH program trying to solve?
The REACH program is trying to solve the problems of and the needs of our educators and of our students, right? Recognizing that because we're in this new normal, that people are experiencing trauma that we have never experienced before, right? We're experiencing a pandemic, and no one that I know of it has ever been through that before in the United States and here in Missouri. And so we are a rapid response to that. And so we're doing that through different mechanisms. One is one of the things that I hold near and dear to my heart, the peer-led support space, which is a restorative space in which educators are invited to come every Tuesday and Thursday and meet us at 4 o'clock. You're in connection and community with other peers, with educators, with teachers, with counselors, with instructional facilitators. We haven't had any administrators yet, but we might, around ways in which we need to process, to decompress, to deflate, so that we can also provide each other with energy, with resources, with camaraderie, with connection, with community. And it has been quite wonderful. We have been doing these since January, and people have loved the spaces to be able to talk to people who have now become friends, that are their peers around the different things that they're experiencing in being an educator during this time.
So Cecilia, with that, are there any successes or even data maybe that you've collected that you could share with us? Because this sounds like a really interesting program. Obviously, we know it's having impact, as maybe you could speak to that.
We have. We've had successes where in each of the sessions that we have had, people have come in with emotions saying that they felt defeated, fatigued, tired, overwhelmed, anxious. I'm trying to think of all the words, frustrated, angry. And the words that they leave with are hopeful, inspired, lifted up, encouraged, supported. One person even said loved. One of the staff from a St. Louis public school said, I am surprised. And I said, well, let's tease that out. What do you mean by that? And she said, I thought that this was just going to be another thing. And this is exactly what I needed today. It is exactly what I wanted. And she's been back ever since. And so it is a space, like I said, of camaraderie, of connection, of community, to be able to honestly and vulnerably share feelings, or not, to be able to sit in space with one another, honestly and vulnerably, and to recognize what we are going through as educators, and also though encourage one another so that we know that we are not in this by ourselves. We are committed together, and we share resources. We share things that have worked well. We share things that we've tried. We share our failures and our successes, and it's been a great space for that.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared that. I know this, being an educator myself, this sounds like a great group to be part of, definitely. And with that, as we move forward into 2021, you know, we're now in February, the Super Bowl was just played. And with that being said, you know, what are kind of still some of the goals, if you would, that you're trying to, you know, achieve, especially in the short term, you know, as we know that COVID is still obviously continuing here in Missouri?
Absolutely. We want to continue to provide resource and continue to be a platform for knowledge, a platform for connection, for community. We want to rapidly respond to educator needs and student needs. And so this is a manner in which we can do so. We are starting out now. The first week we had 2 people that responded saying that they were going to register and RSVP, and we had 106 this last time, and that's just in a 2-week span. And so what we want to do is to be able to provide this space. We would love if we opened up and we had a peer-led support space every day, Monday through Friday, for people to know that they had a place where they can drop in and get whatever it is they need that day. If we have a space where 4 o'clock is not a good time and we need another time, you know, we do always feedback and assessment from the educators to know what they need. And so we're looking for educators to really be able to guide these spaces and to let us know what would make them feel better on a day-to-day basis, and for us to be able to provide it. That's our goal.
Well, that's a great goal to have, and I'm assuming you're doing pretty well with word of mouth based on the educators. They can look, bottom line is I'm sure that their colleagues see the change in them because they have a change in perspective, knowing that they feel that they're all in this together. And that's really, exactly, that's a really big thing. So with that, could you direct our audience to the website where people can go and get resources on this?
Absolutely. It's www.reach4Missouri.org. And that will gear them directly to all of the ways in which they can become involved. The peer-led support space is one. We also have our team trainings where school teams can get informed and knowledgeable about trauma-informed practices. We have our social emotional learning strategy teams where folks in the community, educators, community leaders, students can join those teams to really, it's like a focus group for rapid response to the needs of students and educators. They can get informed that way and involved that way. We have our peer-led support space. There's also a space called the critical incident debrief space, where this is where an educator might want more individualized space from where they're talking to a licensed counselor. It's totally anonymous. It is totally confidential. And so they might just say, hey, can you help me with this issue that I'm having, this problem? And they can provide resources. They can be a person that listens to someone for however long they need. So it is website. It is a space that is packed with information. It is packed with resources for our educators. And we want to make sure that we are here for you, that we are doing all that we need to be embracing of each other and helping each other feel good as we are in this new normal that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. And Cecilia, thank you so much for sharing that. Just to make it convenient for anyone who watches the replay, we are going to put that website, that resource in the description. So it's going to be right there, be one click away. And who knows, maybe we can get a chance to meet Cecilia herself. You never know.
Absolutely. I'll be looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So for Cecilia Belser-Patton, I am Guy Danoff. We want to thank you for watching this special edition of Mo Health Media. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing people.